Hey everyone, my name is David Rao and I'm the music teacher who blogs at makemomentsmatter.org. You can also find my ideas on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Pinterest, on YouTube, and a variety of other places when you search for my name, David Rao, or Make Moments Matter. I'm a little late tonight because I had to shove the dogs out of my office and then had some technical difficulties. So if you're here with me, thank you so much for joining me for the week and for just joining in a conversation about music education. So I'm excited to be sharing tonight a little bit about some of my first grade lessons. That's the hope. I'm going to start by sharing some more books that I really love for Latinx Heritage Month. But I'm going to get to my first grade lesson plans and try and show you everything, my in-person lessons, my Zoom lessons, and my at-home students working on their own at their own pace lessons, because I get to do all of that. So I'm going to be sharing all of those with you and giving you some ideas of maybe what you can do. And I know especially for younger grades, I feel like that's one of the things I struggle with, because in younger grades I do a lot of singing and I'm not doing any singing in my in-person lessons. So how do you adapt for that? And that's one of the things I want to share tonight. But a couple quick things. You can find all of the links, the books, the puppets, everything I'm talking about tonight on my links page. If I ever say the links page, it's at makemomentsmatter.org/video. And you can go under the video tab. There's a thing that says 2020, 2021 Musical Mondays recap, or you can just click at the bottom of the caption here on Facebook. There's a direct link, and on Instagram there's a link in profile, direct link. But all of the books and everything I talk about are there. I have a ton of lists on Amazon that are public lists that you can go and look at of books and things, and so a lot of the stuff is there. But if you ever hear the links page, that's what I'm talking about. And then one more plug, if you want to join my Facebook group, Every Moment Matters Music Education Community, we'd love to have you. There's some really great conversations going on there right now. So it'd be great to have you along for some of those conversations. Ask any question, talk about whatever you want, engage the community, because that's really what makes us all better, is when we talk together with other educators and try and learn from one another. So I hope that you'll join us there on Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a few more books that I got in just this week that I have not used before in my classes, and what I'm planning to do with it, and why I bought them. And someone asked last week, why are you saying Latinx History Month instead of Hispanic Heritage Month? Latinx Heritage Month. Well, the terms, you can use them in different ways in different times. Hispanic sort of refers more to people who are Spanish speaking or of heritage from Spain. Latin X, meaning not Latino or Latina, but Latinx, meaning non-gendered, basically, refers to anyone from Latin America or basically anywhere in North or South America who sort of identifies as Latino, Latina, or Latinx. And so it's just a little bit more inclusive, and there's been sort of a shift to that, and I just figured, like, if it's more inclusive and it gives a better picture of things, why not use that word instead? So you hear it a lot. I heard it on NPR on the way home today, the term Latinx, even spoken. So that's the term I'm using. That's just my personal preference. A lot of people are still saying Hispanic Heritage Month. It's totally up to the person who's talking about it. But I wanted to share some books that I thought were really great, and here's some that I'm using or are new to me or exciting. So a lot of folks have recommended this book. It's called The Life of Selena. It's a bilingual picture book. It is a board book, so it's really a super fun book. And so it gives a very, very simplified story and pictures and history, and it really is for younger kids, but it would be a super fun thing to add into a lesson or to have in a reading center, especially for younger learners. But it's just a really great book. And I got it. I think I got it. Well, I know I got it from one of the thrift book websites like Better World Books or thriftbooks.com or ABE Books, one of those discount book websites. It's basically like half-price books but online. But I looked at it on Amazon because I put it on my Amazon list of books for Latinx History Month or Heritage Month. I think it's like $8 new. So I don't think that I paid a lot less for it, so you could probably just buy it new and get a brand new copy and not feel bad about it. But you can always look on those discount book websites and ask around. Maybe your library has it. But this is a super fun one. It's been highly recommended to me, and I'm really excited about using this one. Okay, let's see. Another one that was super, super highly recommended is Danza. And this one, I just think the illustrations on this one are absolutely gorgeous, but it's about Emilia Hernandez and Albe Folklorico de Mexico. But it goes through and talks about, well, just look at those pictures, aren't they amazing? But it goes through, and it even has like Amalia Hernandez was born in Mexico City. Everyone assumed she would grow up to be Everyone assumed she'd grow up to be a school teacher like her mother and her grandmother. Even Ami, as everyone called her, expected that. But it goes on and talks about how she became part of the ballet in Mexico. And it's a little longer, so maybe you'd want to teach it in parts, or read it in parts, or have it as part of like a virtual online lesson. But it's a really, really cool book. It gives a lot of great history, and also just like the pictures and the exposure that kids would get if they read this would be just a great addition. It has an amazing glossary at the back to give you more information in case you're like, well, I want to teach this, but I don't know what all of these things mean. And so it goes through and gives a lot of history that would help you if you were teaching a lesson. So that's called Danza, and this is, again, super highly recommended to me, and I wanted to share it with you as well. Okay, one that is, okay, I'll do one more before I go a little more in depth. This one, Maria Had a Little Llama, which is a super cute just retelling of the same basic book, or the same song, Mary Had a Little Lamb, but it sort of retells it in a different setting and a different context, obviously. So let me see in the inside. Let's see. Yeah, so the super simple explanation. Everyone knows about Mary Had a Little Lamb, but do you know about Maria? With gorgeous Peruvian-inspired illustrations and English and Spanish retellings, you get a new twist on the classic rhyme. So it's basically just the same story as Mary Had a Little Lamb, but in Peru. And I love that it does have the Spanish right here on the bottom, so you can include both of those as you retell it. But simple, sweet, short, and it'd be great, especially if you wanted to do something on compare contrast. If you wanted to do, you knew this one from last year, and they're like, a lot of kids are like, but we know that one. Well, guess what? You don't know this version of it. So it's just a really cool sort of retelling, but also, again, just like Danza, I love that the illustrations are so much a part of the story, because kids will see, like, well, that doesn't look like my classroom, or they're not wearing things that I'm wearing, or that village doesn't look like our town, or whatever. And so it's just a great thing to sort of give kids more context, more exposure, but also compare contrast. So super cool book. Maria Had a Little Llama. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna just quick check back here. Someone said, I taught Danza today. It's wonderful for my 3rd to 5th grade kids. Were fascinated. Awesome. Thanks, Kelsey, for sharing that. I have the Selena book. Allison, I hope you love it. Okay, cool. So a couple that I wanted to highlight. This one, Lola's Fandango, I think is a really cool book. I shared about this on Instagram the other day. But it's a really cool thing. There are 2 parts about it that are cool. There's like a theme in the story about sibling rivalry, because Lola's sister is like a great artist and she wants to be, well, she compares herself, and so there's a lot about like sort of sibling, what's the word? Dynamics, of how siblings get along or don't get along. That's really cool. But it also talks about the arts. It talks about dance. So Lola wants to. Her mom is a Fandango dancer, if I'm remembering correctly, and she wants to dance. She wants to dance flamenco, and sort of like, oh, you really have to practice. It's really not easy. And then her dad sort of like secretly teaches her, because they're going to throw a surprise party for her mom, and then at the party she gets to do the dance. There's a lot of rhythmic language in here. So Lola's like trying to learn the rhythms for the dance, and she just really tries to internalize it. So her dad is teaching her, and he's like, you gotta you've got to be able to clap the rhythm and feel the rhythm. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he's trying to get her to do that. So like she's brushing her teeth and she's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just really cute. And so she's practicing and she's brushing her teeth and brushing her hair and making the bed. She's trying to internalize this. So like that's a really cool thing about like trying to internalize rhythm and understand that. But it's also like getting kids to think about different pairings and patterns of notes and rests and things together. So she does get to dance in the end, and she even wears a dress like her mom, which is super cute. Because at one point she says something like, "Okay, well I can do the dance, but I don't have a polka dot dress." She feels like she has to like have the outfit to go with it because she wants to be authentic, and so she gets to dance flamenco with her mom. But the book is called Lola's Fandango, and so I bought the book, and then as I was like looking through like, written by Anna Whitty, illustrated by Mika Archer, narrated by the Amador family. Wait, what? And so I realized it comes with a CD. And so the whole book is read by a family. So there's in the story, there's mom and dad and 2 sisters. And so it is read by a family, Rosie and Brian Amador, with their twin 15-year-old daughters, Sonia and Elisa. They are Latin musicians, and it says their voices and original music bring Lola's Fandango to life. So, for example, I pulled up here, if I can get my computer to work. So you can import the CD onto your computer and then use it on whatever you're going to use it. So I found the page that is the rhythm part. So let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, so 5 minutes. 38 seconds.
Before you start to dance, you have to be able to clap the rhythm. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right?
All right, says Lola.
Now let's clap together,
says Papi.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not bad,
says Papi and smiles.
Now practice this until you know it in your sleep.
But I want to dance, says Lola.
You will,
says Papi.
in a few days. Now it's time to go to bed.
So it's super cool because in the story they actually have the dialogue between the characters, and this is the dialogue between an actual family, and you can sort of feel the dynamic and you can feel what's going on. So that's really cool. On the CD, there's a quick minute introduction, and then there's them reading it, and then there's a separate track that says Lola's Fandango with page turns. So it's super, super friendly, easy to use, but there's also music and stuff embedded in that to make the book really come to life. So it makes the book, I think, feel more authentic and more exciting, but also it's so much more versatile. So if you have a sub, or if you have a day where you need to save your voice, or something like that, this is a great book to pull out that already has the recording done, ready for you. And for a sub, if it's like, well, I don't know how to use a computer, because that happens, there's a CD where they can just press play. So like how handy is that? So Lola's Fandango, and this is another one that I think when I found it on Amazon, when I looked it up on Amazon, it was very inexpensive. Like maybe $8. I'm trying to remember what it was today when I looked, but very inexpensive for the book plus the CD, and like how cool is that? So it's a really, really great book. Lola's Fandango by Anna Whitty is the author. And then one more I wanted to just really highlight before I jumped into my lessons, and this one is Miguel and the Grand Harmony. So if your kids liked Coco, and probably a lot of them did, this is a book by Matt de la Peña, illustrated by Ana Ramirez, and it is sort of based around Coco. And so, let's see. I think they're saying, it's a Coco-inspired story. But you're going to see it, and oh my gosh, so the discount book website, right, like Better World Books or Thrift Books or ABE Books, sometimes you can get some real gems. So this one is a signed copy, and I think I got it for not a lot of money, for like $10 or something, $8, I don't remember. Anyway, so I'll just read a couple quick pages. So first comes the sound: a single string plucked, or a note blown, or beat rapped. And suddenly I am Where there is music, there is color. And where there is color, there is life. I roam this vibrant city, determined to keep the gray at bay. La musica, I hear their hearts beckon. We need you. To create a grand harmony, I need them, too. Here I am tucked inside the buzz of wedding bells, the band shifting into ballad, and every hand linked around the glowing bride and groom. Here I am at a packed Pueblo quinceañera, swaying along with the staticky song, as a fresh-faced girl lifts a tiara onto her head. Here I am, huddled over an open cemetery plot, breathing life into the quiet reflections of loved ones and the weeping beauty of a single violin. Today I fall upon a trio of musicos, tuning their instruments. They laugh from their bellies and wave to passerby as they shoo away a stray dog. So it's just this like really, really cool story talking about music, what music does. A fourth musico steps to a trash bin holding a busted guitar. She was good to me, he says. Until you sat on her, a friend replies. More laughter as the man tosses the ruined instrument and returns to his crate. He thumbs the nylon strings of a new guitar, and I ride the rhythms across the plaza. So, further along in the book, comes the little boy, he gets the guitar. So there are elements of this that look and sort of feel like Coco, if you know that story. It's a really cool, like, I think that the story is really cool, the illustrations are really cool, and I think the kids are gonna, look at this. This is like directly pulled from Coco. The kids are going to love it because they're going to be like, oh my gosh, Coco! And then you've got them hooked, but also it's just a really great book. When La Musica discovers a boy with longing in his heart and no music at his home, she vows to help him find his passion. So, super, super cool book. It's called Miguel and the Grand Harmony. Again, I think I got this on a discount book website, but I think you could get it on Amazon, and I don't think it's very expensive, because I looked at it today and I'm trying to remember exactly how much it is, but it's not, I don't think it's a crazy expensive book, but totally worth it. So all those books are on the links page if you want to go and find them, or if you want to go to Amazon and pull the ISBN and have your librarian buy it, or have your PTA or whatever, all of that's there. So if you want, Amazon is just so easy to grab the ISBN and grab the whatever. So it's all there if you want it. And the links are on the links page for that. Okay, so my goal today is to try and get through first grade as much as I can. It's tricky in COVID times when you want to teach younger grades. You want to teach a lot of songs. I think that's just ingrained for a lot of us. It's like sing, 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 a lot of short little songs. So what do you do instead? And so I've been trying to plan my lessons so that I can get a lot of that song content still in their online lessons, and then try and do other things in their homerooms. And it's been tricky, but we've been able to do a lot of really fun stuff. So the way my school is still currently working for who knows how long, on Wednesdays we do Zooms with the homeroom. It's like our first time seeing them for the week. It's a new rotation. We see them, and I will Zoom with the homeroom, and then the next day, half of the class is in school and half is at home. That works for 2 days, and then they flip-flop. So I have to have a Zoom lesson. I have to have 2 50-minute lessons of in-person learning, and while I'm doing that in-person learning, there are kids at home who are doing at your own pace student lessons that they're going to do online. I've been using Nearpod for those at-home lessons, and I'm going to share more about that later. But I want to go through and sort of show you, like, the Zoom thing comes first, and then show you what we do at home. In school, so you can sort of see what that looks like, my modified classroom. So the Zoom lesson is super fun. Just time to get to know kids, because I'm still meeting them. I'm new at this school, so I'm still trying to meet them and build relationships. And so I figured that the Zoom thing, it has to be something we can all do. It's like do and have fun and do and like feel successful with. So that's what I'm doing. So once kids all log in, which they're first grades, that takes a minute or 7. It's tricky for them. I sing hello to all of them, and they're all muted, and we talk about singing back and forth. I grab a puppet and I sing hello, and the puppet sings back to sort of just demonstrate and show them how it works. And then as they've been coming in the Zoom room, I've been checking off who's there. So then I say, okay, I know, I also go through and I say you can unmute and say hi when I say your name. So we go through one time just speaking. I say, oh, you were so good at listening and you're so good at finding the mute button. So here's what you got to do. I'm going to sing your name. You get to unmute and sing hello back. You sing, hello, Mr. Rao. It's going to be so much fun. And this is something that I would do in my homeroom anyway with them, like in my classroom with them anyway. So we're just doing a sung version. So all the kids who I know are there because I marked them off when they came in. I sing hello to them, they unmute, they sing hello back. I was surprised by how well it's gone. Honestly, I was afraid like kids wouldn't be able to unmute, they would not hear their name, or they'd be too scared to sing back or whatever. But surprisingly, it's worked fairly well. Part of it was that I, had a puppet and I did something back and forth with the puppet at first to demo it. I did it, everybody sing, hello, Mr. Rao. I'll just sing to everybody, but keep your mics muted, and we'll all just sing at home, sort of thing. And then they would sing one-on-one kids by themselves, and it's worked surprisingly well. We do the sit-down stand-up song, which I shared a couple weeks ago on Instagram. It's hilarious. I don't know that I've shared about it here, so let me just pull it up. Super easy. It's called the Sit Down Stand Up. It's by Rick Golden from his album I Like to Read. Just listen to like 20 seconds of it.
Everybody stand up.
Okay, so you have to stand up.
Everybody sit down.
Obviously it's gonna work so well now.
Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up. But not for long. Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Good.
And then it goes into a verse.
Now stand up if you're 5 years old.
I'm never gonna stand up here.
And sit back down again. Stand up if you're 6 or 7.
I'm never gonna do this
Then
part.
sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you're 4 or 3. All right. Stand up if you're 8, 9, or 10. Now everybody sit back down. We'll do it once again.
Yeah, so it's a super easy song. It goes through like 4 verses, all these different things. Very, very easy to do. It's available on Spotify, on iTunes, or whatever they're calling iTunes now, and YouTube. I will say you can do it on Spotify or you can do it on YouTube. I like downloading it on Apple Music because I can then embed it into a PowerPoint. I can't do that with YouTube or Spotify. It's only 99 cents. So I went and bought it, and now I can embed it in my PowerPoint, so I can just click next on the PowerPoint and boom, it comes up. So I did the thing where I was like getting on YouTube every once in a while, and then like an ad would come up or it would not load or whatever, or the internet was down. So I just bought it. It's 99 cents. So it's a super fun song, really easy to use. And I love, I've gotten a lot of messages because it's shared on Instagram. People are like, what's the name of it? I was like, it's the Sit Down Stand Up. Like, it's not very fancy, but it's a super fun song, great for K1. I know people who've done it all the way up to 5th grade, but I like K1 and I've done it maybe once in 2nd. That's a great one to do on Zoom. You can also use it in person. It's just easy and just a couple minutes long. And then my 1st graders, we learn Little Bunny Foo Foo. I've got a couple little, visuals for it, and then the students get to, so I do it one time with like visuals, like a little rabbit stuffy and a little wand or whatever, and then I teach the kids they can do it too because they can use their hands, their fingers, and so they do that at home on their own thing. And then if we have time, I show them a video on YouTube called Little Rabbit Foo Foo, which is a read aloud of a book by the author is escaping me, but it's available on YouTube, and it's funny because we learned the song, we did our own thing, but the book is different. Instead of saying little bunny foo-foo, it's little rabbit foo-foo. And instead of hopping through the forest, he's riding on a motorcycle. And instead of just picking up field mice, he picks up wriggly worms and goblins and other things too. So it's super fun, but that fills out our time. So like the sing hello and then the stand up, sit down. We learn Little Bunny Foo-Foo where they're singing and doing their finger play, which is easy for them to do since I've never really met them before. This is a great like introductory thing. And then I say like, it's a compare contrast. So like what we learned and what you see. They like watching the video on YouTube, but also it's easy for them to be like, well, he didn't just do whatever. Like, they're watching more critically because I say, I need you to watch because there are some things that are different from our song. So watch that, and then they get a compare contrast. And it's an easy lesson. And then I'm using Nearpod for that, their at-home lessons. So at the end of our Zoom session, I send them off and say, like, you might need your grown-up to help you. Whoever's there with you right now, if you're at, daycare or at home or wherever, your grown-up might need to help you, but you need to have Nearpod on your iPad. And I sent you an assignment, and it's just basically a Nearpod version of, like, Meet Mr. Rao, where, like, they learn a couple things about me, they see pictures of my dogs, whatever. But it's at the end of the lesson, like I make sure that I say like 20 times, go get Nearpod. Make sure you have an iPad. Make sure because they have to have it for their assignment the following day to work if they're an at-home student. And I can't get on their iPads and check. I think everyone has it now because I've been asking them to do it. The computer teacher's asking them to do it. We've been making sure that all the kids have it, but still some have like slipped through the cracks. So I always make sure that happens on the Zoom meeting. I talk about it. We go through it. Nearpod. It's cool. I'll show more about that later. I showed a little bit last week. I'm not getting paid by Nearpod to say this. I'm not an ambassador. I wish I was, but no. But it's a really cool thing. I'll talk more about Nearpod later. Okay, so I'll talk about the at-home lessons, the student-paced at-home in a little bit, but I want to talk about the in-person stuff. So I come into their classroom. I've got my big cart of randomness, and the kids, I have this silly little video of like, let's go to the music room, and it's something I did on iMovie in like 15 minutes of me just being a goofball in the music room, like playing xylophones and playing drums and showing the vocabulary wall and puppets, whatever. And it was super simple to create on my iPad, but fun. And sort of like welcome to music, to get them to think about music and to having fun and whatever. So we watch that, and then Tabby comes out. Tabby is my cat, and Tabby has sort of a problem. The problem is she likes to copy me. Yeah, and she copies me a lot. Which is really annoying. But I can get her to stop. Because Tabby knows that if she copies me when I don't want her to, that she owes me all her snacks. Wait, what? Yeah, she owes me all her snacks. No, but I don't want to give you my snacks. I want to have my snacks. And the kids are like, they think that's hilarious. And so, anyway, so it gets Tabby to stop. But Tabby then teaches them the copycat poem, and they get a copy. So for first grade, since this is new to them this year, since I'm new to the school, we just learn it line by line. And the poem we use goes like this. Sorry, it's a habit. Copycat, 1, 2, 3, do what I do after me. Anything I do, you do the same. That's how you play the copycat game. So when I'm introducing it to first grade, Tabby will be like, copycat, 1, 2, 3. And then the kids get to do it. And so back and forth. And then Tabby goes, okay, Mr. Ray, they're going to copy you. Oh, they're going to copy me? Yeah, I don't want to be copied. Oh, but you like copying. But you don't want to be copied. Okay, well, that's interesting. But so then I'll just do a clapping pattern, and the kids back and forth 3 or 4 times. Tabby comes back, teaches it again, and then we do like patting, and then Tabby comes back, and then the third time I make Tabby actually do the thing, because Tabby's like, okay, Mr. Rao, it's your turn. I just did the poem, so you could have them copy you. No, you get to have them copy you. No, you get to have them copy you. No, I'm not going to do that. You're going to get to have them copy you. But I don't know what to do. Well, can you think of something? And usually there's one kid who's like, And so then we get to do some movement copying. So Tabby does all sorts of things like, and they'll copy that. They love just copying silly, simple little things with the puppet. Or maybe it turns around or whatever. Or you can even have them stand up. And I mean, there are all sorts of things you can do. But then it gives you a chance to get them up and out of their seat and moving and copying. And they're giggling because they think it's funny they get to copy Tabby. And so Tabby does her thing. And that it's just a really easy thing. But I use Copycat basically to start almost all my lessons all year long. So this is a great way to get it going right away. Someone just asked, so you're Zooming asynchronous and in their classrooms. I Zoom on one day. The following day, half the class is at home going asynchronous, so at their own pace, on their own time, with no help from me. And then the other kids are in class and I'm doing in-class lessons. I hope that makes sense. So like 2 days of in-class kids while the other half is at home doing their own work, and then they flip-flop. And so then I redo the lessons again. I hope that sort of makes sense. I don't know. I feel like I've said it so many times in my head it makes sense, Leah, but I don't know. Anyway, so we do Copycat. Then I do the poem Rickety, Rackety, Rockety, Ree. Last year I taught that with a yarn ball, and we passed the yarn ball around the circle. Whoever had the yarn ball got to say their name. Obviously, I'm not doing that this year. So instead, they're all sitting at their desks, and I do Rickety, Rackety, Rockety, Ree. Will you say your name for me? And whoever I point to, they get to say their name. Ooh, how exciting. And so then they say their name. I'm like, ooh, great. You know what? There's one thing I forgot to do. The kid gets to say their name, and then I'm going to go, well, let's try it. Let's just try it. Rickety, Rackety, Rockety, Ree. Will you say your name for me? And they get to try it again. They go, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, and then after they go, I'm going to go, and everyone who sees my hands go, whenever you see that, you get to repeat their name. So like if we go, Rickety, Rackety, Rockety, Ree, will you say your name for me? And he goes, Liam, Liam, and everyone gets to repeat. Isn't that so exciting? And the kids are like, okay. So we go around the room, and each kid, I'll point to them, and then they say their name. Everyone says their name, and then we move on. And they're just keeping a steady beat while they're doing it. And then they're ready for the call and response sort of thing. It's just a modification that I'm doing to preserve the poem that we did in previous years. Not because it's like the world's most amazing poem, but because I need to learn all their names. It's good for them to hear one student's voice on its own and then to repeat that. So it's great for that sort of like back and forth thing, but also it's great for me to learn their names because I need to learn their names. Even if they have masks on and it's hard and they're only half the class, it still helps me a little bit. So we do all of that. We do the stand-up sit-down we did on the Zoom. We do that in person because they really need as much movement as I can give them. And then I tell them about how I was out the other day, and it was such a beautiful day outside. And then along came this wonderful friend. My friend the bee. Oh, what a nice friend. And that friend landed on my leg. Oh, hello, little bee. And the bee went, bzz, ow, and stung me on my knee. I was not expecting that. And it hurt, because bee stings hurt. And I was a little bit upset, but, bees only really sting you when if you ever bother them or you get too close to their hive, like they think that you're going to hurt other bees, like they might sting you, but bees don't sting otherwise. So anyway, so there I am, and the bee goes like, bzz. What are you giggling about? You got stung. It's not funny to laugh at people because they got stung. Well, I think it's funny. Well, Mr. Pig, I think you probably shouldn't make fun of people for getting stung. Getting stung is funny when it's not me. Well, the bad news for you is that you're here, and so that means you can be part of the poem. What? Yeah, because you're here, we're going to make you a part of the poem. No. There's a poem about bees. I don't want to be here for this. Sorry, no. Bye. Yeah, by the way, my pig snorts. So we're going to add him to the poem. The poem goes, bee, bumblebee, stung a man upon his knee. Stung a pig upon his snout. And then the kids giggle and he's like, no, I don't like that. I'm like, where did he get stung? On his snout. What's a snout? I mean, you talk about that. So then we go again. Bee, bumblebee, stung a man upon his knee, stung a pig upon his snout. I don't like that. I say you are out. And the pig says that to the bee. And so we add that all in and we make the poem out of that. Probably many of you have tried something like that. And then I say, you know, I've got this is so exciting. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm like, I feel so like put together. I remembered and I brought home my easel. Oh my gosh. So like, I hope you can see this. Look at that. Look at David being like so organized. Okay. I don't know if it's really going to work or not. Sorry, you can see the ring light. All right. So anyway, I have these clip art things. These were free clip art that I printed out. I did this last year during distance learning, and I used it sort of as a distance learning lesson. But I've got these 5 bees. They're all different colors. Again, this was free on Teachers Pay Teachers. The link is on the links page. And then I say, you know what? I love these colorful bees. Well, actually, they're all black and yellow, but their wings are different colors, right? So I have an idea. Why don't we do the poem here? Okay, so let's do the poem, and I'll do the steady beat and go along with each one like this. Bee, bumblebee, stung a man upon his knee, stung a pig upon his snout. I say you are out. Oh no, the pink one is out now. Okay, let's go back. Let's try this again. But you get to choose which one you think is going to make it all the way to the end of the poem, to the end of the thing. And so the kids will like vote, like, oh, am I an orange, or do I think green's going to win, or pink, or whatever. So then we go around, and after each, at the end, I say you are out. And the kids are like, oh no, I thought blue was going to make it all the way to the end. So then that one comes off. And so then we'll go around and do that again. And I encourage kids to just pat the steady beat, as we go through. And we just slowly go until there's only one left. And it's like never the one that they expect to be left, but it is. It is what it is. So that's just another fun like extension for this to take it to a different place. These are honestly just pieces of paper of clip art that I have printed out. I didn't even laminate them, if you can believe that. And then on the back is a magnet. And these are old calendars that were given away for free at the end of calendar year. And I've just cut them up, taped them on the back. Obviously not that secure because that one came off. But it's just really, really simple. The clip art was free. The magnet was free. The printing was not free, but I mean, it didn't cost a lot. So it was really fairly easy to do. And then I'm going to stay here at the whiteboard for a minute. So, and then I teach them a poem about my friend Jean. And Jean's favorite color was green. And this is a poem I learned years ago, I think from Jill Trinka, but I found it also on the Beth's Notes website with a fun little lesson option there. Anyway, here's Jean. So I had this clip art set of like Shakespearean actresses and stuff. So they're always like, why doesn't Jean have a face? I'm like, oh, I guess the camera was blurry when they took it or whatever. And then I try and move on and kids are like, oh, okay. Anyway, so Jean's here wearing her green dress. But you could get any clip art for Jean wearing green. But I say, Jean decided she was hungry, so she went downtown. And here's how the poem goes. It goes, Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat. What do you think Jean would eat? What do you think Jean went out to eat? And I get some really fun answers here. So Jean, so I'll say it again, to kids. Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat. And kids will be like, some beans. Or they'll be like, when this first started happening, I was like, what's going on? Jean, because I was assuming they're going to rhyme, right? I thought maybe they'd get it faster than they did. Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat. And kids would be like, lime. And I was like, no. But nice guess. Like, I didn't get it at first. And then the next one was like, Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat. And they're like, broccoli. And I was like, no. And then I realized they were saying green things. And then they got on a theme. So then they'd be like avocado or green apple or whatever they would say. So it was funny to see the kids like go with the green theme. I was like, all right, great. Love that. Anyway, so here, I'm going to see if I can move this back just a tiny bit. Sorry, this never works when I try and adapt my technology setup in the middle of a video. But okay, so anyway, so Jean dressed in green. What did she actually go downtown to eat? She went down to eat ice cream. So this is a very, very small whiteboard, but I'm gonna make it happen. Okay, so I put a little ice cream cone there, and I say, you know, there are so many great flavors that she could eat. And so then I actually take all of these and I put them out on the board. So the board ends up looking sort of like, well, that's not going to stay there. Okay. But the board ends up looking rather full. I do this on their whiteboard in their classroom, right? So there are lots of options, all different sorts. There are the basic ones, there are the exciting ones, there are, you know, all sorts of things in here. All different flavors, some with sprinkles, some not, some with frosting or syrup, whatever they want to call it, right? So there are all these different ice creams, and we go around, and the poem becomes Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat ice cream. How many scoops did she eat? 1 is where we start. And the flavor was, or we say, and it was, and the first kid gets to choose. And a lot of times kids will, well, it depends on what class you're in and who you start with. But sometimes kids will be like, vanilla. Okay, cool. So if they do choose vanilla, I play super dumb. And I'm like, great, which one is that? And they're like, it's the vanilla one. I'm like, yeah, vanilla. Which one is that? And they're like, oh, it's the one over there. Can you use your words to tell me which one you mean? And I don't let them get up and point. I'm like, no. You just chill. Just stay where you are. Which one is vanilla, though? And so then they like get a little bit frustrated. Oh, it's the one that's like, it's white. Oh, so this one. And they're like, no, that one has chocolate chips. It's like, oh, sorry. You meant this one. The one with the white on top. And they're like, no, we didn't mean that one. So anyway, so I go around. But then I will get to, you know, that one or whatever, we'll add it. So if they say vanilla first, so over here on the side is the cone with vanilla. So then it becomes Jean, dressed in green, went downtown to eat ice cream. How many scoops did she eat? 1. And it was vanilla. Ooh, good. Next kid in line. What do you think she should eat? What should the next scoop be? Because Jean's not full. 1 scoop's not enough. What do you think it should be? And I love when kids are like, the blue one. I'm like, ooh, blue. Great. What flavor is that? Because blue's not a flavor. Blue's a color. So what's blue? And they're like, blueberry. Oh, great. What else could it be? And kids will raise their hand. Blue cotton candy. Oh, it could be. What else could it be? And I'm like, bubblegum? Oh, maybe. What else could it be? Blue raspberry? Sure, what else could it be? And I just keep asking that. And that's sort of a theme in my classroom all year long. What else could we do? What else could happen here? If you stop with the obvious answer, then their brains will stop thinking. But if you give them more options, they will think more freely. And by the end, you're going to have like, I mean, if you let them go, you're going to end up with like, you know, passion fruit with pink frosting. I mean, like, you're going to have more complex answers. So I always say, I will never end with like, oh, blue, sure, great, okay, done. Obviously, that's blueberry. You know, I let them come up with ideas. We go on with that. Or if, in some cases, they'll be like, the green one. I'm like, this one, no. This one, no. This one, no. This one, oh, yeah, that's the one. Okay, what is that green? But also, you can have fun conversations because you could do, oh, where's my great example for this? You could pull out an ice cream like this one, all red. And they'll be like, the red one, great, what flavor is that? And they're like, cherry, cool, what else could it be? Strawberry, yeah, what else could it be? Apple, what else could it be? Watermelon, sure, maybe, what else could it be? And we'll go through and then I'll say, what about tomato? And they're like, no, it couldn't be that. I'm like, why not? And they're like, oh, well, I guess it's the right color. Like, I would associate red with tomato, right? Like, tomato's red. But you probably wouldn't have tomato ice cream, probably, because it's not really as sweet as maybe some of the other things. But, like, it could be tomato, right? Could it be ketchup? I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, it could be. So again, it's not limiting them to just the right answer, right? But it's giving them ideas. All this clip art you can get. It's only $2 on Teachers Pay Teachers. I bought it years ago. I printed it out for Jean. I use it all the time for different stuff, but it's super fun. It comes just with like the scoops, and then you have to manually put the little frosting on or the sprinkles on. So that means you get options for like, I want to put rainbow sprinkles on a white ice cream or whatever. You get to do that. So that's fun to do. Let me tell you a couple quick musical adaptations. So Jean dressed in green. As I'm teaching that, move this back here. Sorry, Instagram, you got bumped. So as we're teaching that, we'll maybe do like Jean dressed in green. You could have them just pat the rhythm, right? Another thing I do, once we've done it 3 or 4 or 5 times, because I let every kid out an ice cream scoop, which takes a little bit of time, but it's fun for us and it's worth it, because then we'll use it again the next day. So you could do just the steady beat, right? You could do Jean dressed in green. But after 3 or 4 times, once they're starting to I'm getting tired of this, anytime we say the word green, point to something in the room that's green. Jean dressed in green went downtown to eat ice cream. Oh, and we can add the action of holding an ice cream cone. That'll be fun. So we do the actions. Jean dressed in green went downtown to eat ice cream. How many scoops did she eat? A little simple action like your hands moving out like that. How many scoops did she eat? 4. And so then we're sequencing. They were vanilla and blueberry with rainbow sprinkles and lemon and chocolate chip, or whatever the kids decide on, right? Once I also have them add on their hand, how many scoops did she eat? 5. And then when we get to 5, it's a really interesting moment, because I say, can she have more than 5 scoops? And some kids are like, no, she's gonna get sick. I'm like, well, no, that's not why she can't have more than, she can have more than 5 scoops, it's fine, it's her business. But anyway, but I'm saying I'm out of fingers on this hand, so I'm just going to have to add another one over here. So then I have a separate cone, so I add another cone. So then I have 5 on one cone and 5 on another. And I had a homeroom teacher pop in and was just listening, and she heard me, we got to 7, and I was like, how many scoops did she eat? 7. And we went through, and then for the next one, for 8, I could see she was listening. I was like, okay, so 5 on one cone plus 3 on another cone. How many is that? That's 8. Yeah, so you got 5 on one hand and 3 on another, so 5 plus 3, that's 8. And so I'm sort of reinforcing some of the math concepts too, and the homeroom teacher was like, okay. So anyway, so it was, you can add as many as you want, and then also another musical thing, once we get more and more and more scoops, I slow it down, because when you're really full, sometimes it makes you sort of slow down. Jean dressed in green went downtown, and so we act out like, what's it going to feel like if she has already eaten 8 scoops and she adds another? Jean dressed in green, so it might slow you down, but it's super, super fun activity for kids to do, and they like doing it. They like getting to choose. They like having their own special ice cream. They love all of that. I've done it with 1st grade. I've done it with 2nd grade. You could maybe do it 3rd, probably not. They probably wouldn't like it. K, it's probably too hard. But it depends on your kids. So we do that, and then that basically takes us to the end. If we have more time in the lesson, I have Music Is that I'll read to them by Brandon Stossy, a great book. If we have time, I also have puppets and other things that are available for them if we have time. On the 2nd day when they come in, we do Copycat like we did at the beginning of lesson 1. There's a book called Stretch, which I know I've shared about, by Doreen Cronin and Scott Mention. And it's basically like the kids go through and they get to stretch and move like the dog in the picture. And it's all sorts of different poses, all about stretching and making your body into different shapes. Kids love it. There's a part at the end where I show all of the shapes in the back cover, and the kids get to choose their own and do it. They love that. I've done that with 1st and with 2nd. And it does have companion books, Wiggle and Bounce. But I use Stretch to start them, because we can't really move around the room. We have to sort of stay in our own spaces. So being able to match these poses allows us to do that and still get a little bit of stress out. Okay, so then we do rickety, rackety, rockety, read. This time, when kids say their name, because we've just done stretch, when you do rickety, rackety, rockety, read, will you say your name for me? And I point to a kid. They get to say their name and do a pose. And the rule is you have to choose a pose you think that everyone could recreate in their own space. So, and I always say, like, I can't do a handstand or a headstand, so don't even try it. Because, like, I have to be able to do it, and if I can't do it, you know, or maybe if you're like, you're not going to do any of those poses, you got like, that Desiree has to be able to do, or like that one has to be, everyone has to be able to do it, so choose wisely. But then when we go around, we say, like, say their name, and then everyone gets to match their pose. Again, it's just another way to incorporate movement to get a little bit more of the stretching and wiggling out. We talk about patterns, about what's same and what's different. There's this great book called Beat, Beat, Vroom, Vroom, which I have shared about before, I know. It's like $5 maybe on Amazon, so you could buy it new, but probably check with your homeroom teachers because it might be in their classroom library already. You could probably borrow from them, because it's like something that I think that they read a lot in their classrooms for like math stuff. Because in the book, and I know I've shared about this, the one little boy who's sort of a brat and won't let his sister play with his toys, like lines up all of his toys in a very specific way, and then she plays with them while he's gone, and then the dad's like, oh no, we got to line them up the right way. Well, he doesn't do it right, and then the mom says, oh, we got to line them up the right way, and she doesn't do it right. And anyway, so it's like to try and get the kids to look and watch for patterns. So we do that book, and then we talk about, oh, we need to find patterns and same and different, and we start looking for those. And then we do bee, bee, bumblebee, and I say, ooh, I wonder if you can pat that rhythm. Bee, bee, bumblebee. Good. What's the next part? Stung a man upon his knee. Let's pat it. Stung a man upon his knee. Good. Stung a bee upon his snout. Stung a bee upon his snout. I say you are out. I say you are out. And we find that there are two of them that are the same. Bee, bee, bumblebee is the same as I say you are out. And we can find that by like, oh, I think I hear something that sounds the same. What could it be? You know, and I call it the magic pattern. The kids are trained to hear that anyway, because kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and every other teacher in the world just claps that pattern. In the lunchroom, they clap that pattern. So kids are trained to hear that. So I call it the magic pattern. And they listen for it. And so we find it in Bee, Bee, Bumblebee, and it shows up in Jean, Jean dressed in green too. So once you've done all those repetitions on day one, you can then talk about the patterns and things on day two. You can clap it, you can pat it, you can do whatever. You could say, okay, just think Jean, Jean dressed in green in your head, but don't say it out loud. So you can talk about and sort of identify some of those patterns and make those connections. We spend a little bit of time on that. That's sort of like cerebral for them, so it's like we did all this jumping and moving and whatever, we read the book, and then it's like, ooh, we gotta like think about patterns very seriously for like just a few minutes, identify them. I'll even say like, okay, I'm gonna clap a pattern. If I clap the magic pattern, you're gonna go woohoo, okay? So I'll be like, woohoo, and they're like all excited. I'm like, great, okay, I'm gonna do another pattern. No woohoos, that's not the magic pattern, right? And then maybe I'll do the magic pattern on my knees instead. Woohoo! You know, like we're just listening for that pattern. We're trying to identify and find that pattern wherever it is, whatever it is. We do a couple minutes of that. And then I talk about percussion instruments. I have to scrape them or shake them or tap them or whatever. And I have enough of the instruments to hand some out. So as I'm explaining and showing, I pull out like, ooh, this one is called a wood block. Or like this one is a block of wood. Guess what its name is? It's a wood block. Oh my gosh. And let me do the magic pattern. Oh my gosh, how fun. It sounds so nice in the wood block. Okay, but that one's wood and you have to hit it with this mallet, So we're sort of identifying instruments. Oh, look, I've got another one here. I'm the only one playing. They're not playing. Oh, wow. This one is a cowbell. I'm so excited. I wonder what the magic pattern's going to sound like on this one. Oh, you have to hit it too. What's it made out of? It's metal. Oh, great. Oh, sorry. Okay, wait. Let's see. Oh, the agogo bells. This is so exciting. Wait. Now look. There are two different bells. Are they the same size or are they different sizes? Like They're different. Wait, okay, think about it. Do you think they're going to make the same sound, or do you think they're going to make a different sound? We use our knowledge, we think about it. Okay, great, let's listen. Oh, they're similar, but they're not exactly the same, are they? There's one that's a little bit higher, and there's one that's a little bit lower. How exciting is that? Ooh, I love it. Okay, so then we go through, and maybe I'll do the magic pattern on here, or maybe, I'll say, like, when I play the high one, your hands got to go higher. When I play the low, your hands go low, just for a minute or two. We go through, we talk about different instrument types, and then I have enough instruments to hand out one of each of these things. So I have enough jingling bells for everyone. And again, I am having a half of the class here, so max maybe 15 kids, maybe. But I have enough jingle bells to give every single kid a jingle bell. I have enough of these terribly old, horrible scraper blocks to give each kid one. I have enough egg shakers to give every kid one. I have enough lemon sticks to give every kid one. And I think that's it. So they have like 4 instruments. And so then the rest of the time we do repeated patterns. I do it, they do it. On my instrument, they do it on their instrument. Or I say, okay, now pick up the one that you have to scrape. Great, okay, here we go. And then I do the pattern and they get to repeat. Or pick up the shaking one. Okay, great. But slowly I start identifying, which one is which. But that helps them sort of think about how the instrument makes sound. Pick up the one that you have to click together. Pick up the one that has metal on it, or pick up the one that, whatever, or choose your favorite one. I'm going to do a pattern. You could do whatever one you want. I don't care. You got to try, So it's just fun to explore, and it gets instruments in their hands, which they feel super successful. This was a great music class because I got to play an instrument. But then the nice thing is, because I have a class set of those things, I can give them to them and then put them in like the contaminated box. And then if I don't use them again for a couple days, if there are germs or whatever, according to the COVID watchdogs, I don't have to sanitize them, because if I let them sit so many days or hours or whatever in between, the germs will die on their own. So I'm told. I still spray them down, some of them, but if I'm only using them for this grade level, or these specific ones for this grade level, and then I let them sit on their own, I'm told I don't need to worry about them. But follow your local guidance. So anyway, but I have enough that I can give to each kid, and then the annoying thing is, like, I can't be like, okay, bring up your stuff and throw it in the box. I have to walk around and pass out and walk around and pick up. But it does give us a chance to try out the instruments. And because my rotation is the way it is, and because my school is the way it is, I can do that. Okay, that's my first grade lessons for both of those 2 days, and we get to do a lot of stuff. There is a lot more like thinking pattern, whatever, that I would probably do on the first couple of days, because normally in like a normal year, we do a lot more moving around the room, a lot more dancing, a lot more singing in the first couple of years, like K1 and 2. But because of things the way it is, all of the singing and stuff is loaded into the online lessons, which I don't really have a lot of time to talk about. But in those online lessons, we do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. We do Hop Old Squirrel. We do a peanut butter and jelly song. There are books in there. We do Dinosaur Stomp, a lot of movement stuff. Wendell the Narwhal comes out. We learn about the conductor. So a lot of things that I've shared about in previous weeks or years get sort of funneled into those online lessons. And those are videos of me singing the song that I can sort of string together in a Nearpod. So the kids just click through the Nearpod. Oh, a video of Mr. Rao doing head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Great. Next one. They click to the next thing. Oh, it's a video of Mr. Rao doing Hop Old Squirrel. Great. Ooh, I got to sing along and dance along. Okay, next, Nearpod. And that's what I like about Nearpod. It doesn't take them away from the app. It doesn't move them away. All they need is the code. Or the way my school works, they can just go from the platform we have straight into Nearpod. So it makes my life very simple. But I'm able to add in, put a lot of different elements. So like videos that I've created, videos I found on YouTube, or there are also interactive games and quizzes that I can embed into the Nearpod, which is great. Or if I want to have a static slide and I want to do voiceover voice recording of me reading what's on the slide, I can add that very simply. So I really like Nearpod for that reason. But again, I'm not a Nearpod ambassador. I'm sure there are a lot of cool things that you could do on Nearpod that I don't know about yet, and I'm still learning. So, but that's just how I do it. So that all the at-home lessons are a lot of singing, a lot of experiencing, a lot of moving. All the in-person lessons are moving and books and patterns and instruments and body percussion and getting into note reading and some of the other grades. But I try and do that so that I can get a good, well-rounded experience, but sort of separate it in ways that are safe. A lot of folks are asking about instrument cleaner. It depends on what instrument you're cleaning, so it's hard for me to answer that. My school has a spray that they tell us to use on anything. The instruments that I'm using, again, are I have a class set of them, so they're old or not in great condition. So like rhythm sticks is just wooden sticks. The jingle bells and the shaker egg and the scrapey whatevers. All of those are hard surfaces I can just spray down with my spray cleaner that the school has given me. You could probably use Lysol spray if you could find it. You could probably use Lysol wipes. You could probably do whatever it is that you want to do. But again, I'm not going to give guidance on that because I want you to use whatever your school is using. So, sorry. I wish I could share more about my online lessons, but I'm out of time. So next week I'm going to try and focus on older grades, 4th or 5th grade, because I've done a lot about middle or younger, and I'm going to try and share more next Monday about those grades. Lots of great questions today. I hope I've tried to answer some of those, but if you have more questions, jump on Every Moment Matters Music Education Community and check those out. And check out my big list of books for Latinx History Month. I shared about 5 or 6 today, but there are so many more that you can find on that list. They're all just in one place. Like I said, you don't have to buy them from Amazon. You can go anywhere. But because Amazon lets us group them together, you can find author's name, ISBN, all the identifying information. You can see a preview and sort of look through. You can get the blurb, which is great, and then you can take it and send it to your PTA or send it to your librarian or buy it from Amazon or whatever you want to do. But it's all there, and that's on the links page too. Okay, thanks for coming along with me tonight. Sorry I went a little bit over, but my technology failed me at the beginning of the night. So thanks so much for sticking around. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next Monday. All right, bye everyone.